The WarioWare series isn't that big in the speedrunning landscape because, well, it isn't supposed to be. Despite its fast-action gameplay, the WarioWare format, being completing microgames under a short time limit, just isn't as fit for speedrunning as many other games are, leading the games to mostly come down to small optimizations and luck. People still speedrun this series despite these issues, but interestingly enough, there's a mode in the game that actually encourages speedrunning. This is WarioWare Inc. Mega Party Games' Time Attack mode. Released in 2003, WarioWare Inc. Mega Party Games is sort of like a GameCube version of the first GBA installment, Mega Micro Games, with a heavy focus on multiplayer. Some of these multiplayer modes were brought back in later installments of the series. It has all the same microgames as the original and some new ones added in as well. A lot of the single-player content was cut down, with its main stage clear mode having basically no real storyline or plot other than the hilarious cutscenes present in the intro of the game and the ending of stage clear. After completing stage clear, you unlock the high score modes, and after getting a score of 30 or above on the mode all mixed up, you unlock Time Attack. It has 3 game amounts to choose from: 20 games, 40 games, and 60 games. It works in a very interesting way. The games don't end right when you complete them. It's actually based on the speed of the microgames. The mode starts at its slowest speed of 140 beats per minute. Every microgame you win speeds up the game by 20 beats per minute, eventually reaching a maximum of 400 beats per minute. Microgames are nearly unplayable at this point, and you need insanely fast reaction time for them. If you lose a microgame, there's a speed down, and you have to work your way back up again. After the halfway point of their respective game amounts, the microgames go from level 1 to 2. After you complete all the games, the timer stops and you're given your final time. This mode is very brutal. It's extremely hard to even try to react to the microgames at high speeds. But this brings up a question. If someone were to be flawless and not lose a single microgame even at high speeds, won't the time given at the end be perfect? Do all the game amounts have a perfect time that can't be beaten? Yeah. There are confirmed max possible times for all game amounts. For 20 games, it's a minute, 10 seconds, and 84 milliseconds. For 40 games, it's a minute, 58 seconds, and 64 milliseconds. And for 60 games, it's 2 minutes, 46 seconds, and 64 milliseconds. I've made tool-assisted runs of both 40 and 60 games if you want to check those out, just to see the absurdity of them. If you don't lose any games, it reaches max speed at 14, meaning you'd have to play 7 microgames at 400 beats per minute in 20 games, 27 in 40 games, and 47 in 60 games. If you look at the cyber scoreboards for Time Attack, you may wonder, how did these people achieve these seemingly impossible maxed out times? While I don't have concrete proof of what they did since there's no video for any of them, they were likely achieved with heavy usage of pause buffering. Pause buffering is a technique utilized in many games where a person pauses the game to buffer an action to give them an advantage. Like how in Super Monkey Ball, you can pause on specific frames to buffer certain inputs and complete some levels insanely quickly. Since Time Attack's timer doesn't stop running if you pause the game, you can keep pausing and unpausing to give yourself a lot more time to complete games at higher speeds. Although in Time Attack, this is kind of lame, as it takes away from the whole fast reaction time part of it. So, what about Time Attack runs that don't use pause buffering? Well, in December 2022, a runner named CoolBoy3000 uploaded this. A maximum time on 20 games without pause buffering. Very impressive, noting how lucky he seemed to get with the laser beam on a microgame near the end. The 40 and 60 game world records without pause buffering are both held by Smash Melee player and world record holder of other categories in the game, A Rookie, both being relatively far off the max times, meaning there's still a lot of improvement left in them. While WarioWare started to get a hold of how Time Attack would work in its format with the Wario Cups and get it together, this side mode from the second installment in the series is very interesting to see. There may be a time where all the game amounts are maxed out and we won't ever see an improvement again, but only time will tell if that ever happens. If you want to get Time Attack records yourself, try it. There's a leaderboard at speedrun.com/WWIMPG for pauseless time attack runs with video, so feel free to submit times there if you want to. There's also leaderboards for every WarioWare game at speedrun.com/WarioWare if you want to run a different game in the series. Thanks for watching.